It was a quiet, sunny afternoon when Sarah brought home a small, scruffy golden retriever puppy, with soft ears and warm brown eyes. She named him Max. From the moment he stepped through the door, Max filled her home with joy, playful energy, excited tail wags, and an unshakable curiosity. He followed Sarah everywhere, always by her side. Max loved going on walks, playing fetch, and curling up beside her on the couch. Their bond grew deeper with every passing day. Sarah, a young writer who worked from home, found comfort and companionship in Max. He was more than just a dog. He was family. But as the seasons changed, Sarah started noticing something unusual about Max. While he was fearless and fun-loving most of the time, there was something that made him retreat, something invisible yet powerful. And soon, it would begin to tear at the heart of their peaceful life. One evening, the sky turned gray without warning. Thunder rumbled in the distance, soft at first, then louder, like a growl from the heavens. Max had been playing with his chew toy near the window when the first flash of lightning struck. A split second later, a deafening crack of thunder roared through the room. Max froze. His toy dropped from his mouth. Then, without hesitation, he bolted under the bed, trembling uncontrollably. Sarah called out, confused and concerned, but Max didn't respond. He was panting, eyes wide, ears flattened. It wasn't just fear, it was terror. The storm passed after a while, but Max didn't come out until hours later. Sarah knelt beside him, gently whispering, trying to soothe him. She'd never seen him like that before. This wasn't a one-time reaction. Something about the thunder had pierced Max's heart in a way that Sarah couldn't understand. Not yet. Days passed, and life returned to normal, until the next storm came. Again, Max panicked. This time, he tried to claw into the closet, knocking over shoes and boxes in his desperate attempt to hide. Sarah realized this was more than a fluke. Every time clouds darkened or wind picked up, Max would whimper, shake, and try to escape. Sarah kept the curtains closed and the TV loud, hoping to mask the thunder's sound. But it didn't help. Max seemed to sense the storm even before it arrived. No amount of petting, treats, or cuddles could calm him down. It was heartbreaking to watch. Sarah now understood. Max had developed a deep, instinctual fear of thunderstorms. It was taking over his spirit, and she didn't know how to stop it. What once was a playful pup now turned into a trembling shadow whenever the skies rumbled above their little home. As the storms became more frequent, Max's behavior worsened. He'd refuse to eat on cloudy days. He started avoiding windows altogether, choosing to hide behind furniture even before the thunder came. Sarah's heart broke a little more each time. She felt helpless, like she was failing her best friend. She tried everything she knew, talking to him gently, playing calming music, even lighting lavender-scented candles. But nothing worked. Nights became long and restless, with Sarah sitting beside Max, whispering into the dark, hoping he'd calm down. It began affecting her work, her sleep, her peace of mind. She hated seeing him suffer. They used to be so happy, so carefree. But now, the cloud of fear lingered, even on sunny days. The love between them hadn't changed, but the joy had faded. Sarah knew she had to find a solution, because Max didn't deserve to live in fear anymore. Determined to help Max, Sarah began her search for answers. She joined dog forums, read articles, and even consulted her vet. The vet explained that noise phobia was common in dogs and that Max's case was severe. Sarah learned about thunder shirts, snug vests designed to comfort anxious dogs, and immediately bought one. She also downloaded a playlist of calming sounds and began playing it before storms arrived. Slowly, she introduced Max to low-volume thunder sounds through her phone, rewarding him with treats every time he stayed calm. She even tried aromatherapy and new chew toys made for anxiety relief. It was a lot of trial and error, but Sarah was committed. She wanted to teach Max that the storm wasn't something to fear. Though the progress was slow, she began noticing tiny changes. Max would now peek out from under the bed, his eyes searching for her face. Just when Sarah felt they were making progress, a sudden storm hit, the worst one yet. The wind howled through the windows, and thunder crashed above like a battlefield. Max completely unraveled. He clawed at the walls, his breathing rapid, eyes wild with panic. Nothing Sarah tried helped. He even refused to wear the thunder vest. She held him close, tears in her eyes, whispering, "It's okay, I'm here," again and again, but it didn't seem to reach him. That night, Sarah cried too. The feeling of failure hit hard. Was she doing something wrong? Were her efforts not enough? She felt the weight of Max's pain crushing her. Watching him suffer, again, broke her spirit. Maybe this was something they'd never fix. Maybe Max would always live in fear. But as she wiped her tears and looked at him curled in the corner, she knew she couldn't give up yet. The next morning, Sarah tried something different. Instead of waiting for a storm to practice calming exercises, she started them during peaceful times. She played soft thunder sounds during playtime, giving Max treats and encouragement. At first, he was hesitant, ears perked, eyes wary. But over time, Max began to associate the sound with good things. On one rainy day, Sarah noticed Max didn't run to hide. He stayed near her feet, alert but not shaking. She gently placed the thunder vest on him and gave him his favorite peanut butter toy. He accepted it. For the first time, he didn't run. It wasn't magic, the storm still scared him, but he trusted her. That trust was their breakthrough. Sarah realized it wasn't just about blocking the fear, it was about replacing it with love, safety, and connection. And slowly, Max began to find courage where fear used to live. From that day forward, Max's healing truly began. Each small storm became an opportunity, not for fear, but for practice. Sarah stayed calm and positive, rewarding Max for every brave moment. She created a storm routine, lights dimmed, relaxing music, thunder vest on, favorite toy nearby, and soft words of comfort. Over time, Max's reactions softened. He'd flinch at thunder, but no longer bolt. He started lying beside Sarah, even licking her hand during the loudest crashes. Sarah celebrated each step, no matter how small. Friends who visited were amazed by the change in Max. "He's so calm now," they'd say. But only Sarah knew the journey it had taken. It wasn't a miracle. It was months of patience, setbacks, and love. Max wasn't cured, but he was stronger, braver. And Sarah, too, had learned something powerful. Healing wasn't about perfection, it was about progress, one storm at a time. One summer night, the sky turned pitch black, and the wind roared louder than ever before. The weather app warned of a severe thunderstorm. Sarah's heart skipped a beat. Would this undo all their hard work? Thunder shook the windows, lightning lit up the walls. It was the worst storm of the year. She looked at Max. He stood still, ears up, but not panicking. Slowly, he walked to her side. Sarah placed the vest on him, gave him his toy, and sat down. Max crawled into her lap. His body trembled lightly, but he didn't hide. He looked up at her, eyes calm, trusting. Sarah wrapped her arms around him. The storm raged on, but inside their home, there was peace. This was the moment they had worked for. Max was no longer the same scared dog. He was a survivor, one who had faced the storm and stayed. When the storm finally passed, Sarah sat on the floor with Max, brushing his soft fur, overwhelmed with emotion. She thought back to the early days, the shaking, the hiding, the hopeless nights. And now, here they were. Max wasn't just a dog who feared storms, he was a dog who overcame them. Their journey had been long and painful, but it was filled with love at every step. Max had taught Sarah patience, resilience, and the quiet strength of never giving up. He still flinched sometimes at thunder, but he no longer ran. He leaned in, looked at her, and trusted her. And that trust had changed everything. Sarah smiled as Max rested his head on her lap, the sky outside now clear. In the end, it wasn't the storm that defined Max, it was his courage to face it, and the love that helped him through.